Hello and welcome back, everyone. The American Society of Anesthesiologists, or otherwise known as the ASA, in 1962 adopted a system which is now known as the ASA Physical Status Classification System, which is still in use to this day. This ASA system represents a means of estimating medical risks presented by a patient who is undergoing or will undergo a surgical procedure, and this classification has proven to be a valuable method of determining a surgical anesthetic risk faced by the patient before the actual procedure. There are 6 ASA classes in which we will classify different categories of patients. A patient in ASA 1 category is defined as normal and healthy. So in these classifications, normal or usual activity is defined as the ability to climb one flight of stairs or to walk 2 levels of city blocks without facing any distress. And distress itself is defined as under fatigue, shortness of breath, or chest pain. So the ASA1 patients are normal and healthy, meaning that all the systems and the organs such as cardiovascular system, excretory system, respiratory system of the patient are healthy. And also the blood pressure is below 140 by 90 milliliters of mercury. The patient is also not too much phobic and is also younger than 60 years. Then the patient will be classified in ASA1 category. A patient in ASA1 category is a perfect candidate for elective surgical or dental care with minimal risk of an adverse medical event occurring during the treatment. ASA2 patients have a mild systemic disease or patients who are healthy but demonstrate extreme fear and anxiety for the procedure and its related scenarios, or the patients who are older than 60 years. These are all types of patients that fall under the ASA2 category. They are less able to tolerate stress as compared to ASA1 but still are at minimal risk during dental treatment. However, treatment modifications by the dentist should be considered if possible. ASA3 patients have severe systemic disease that limits their activity but is not incapacitating. At rest, such patients don't exhibit signs and symptoms of distress, but when stressed, these patients do exhibit such signs and symptoms. An example of such a patient that is also mentioned in 6th edition of Handbook of Local Anesthesia by Stanley would be a patient with angina who is pain-free while waiting seated in a waiting room, but develops chest pain when seated in the dental chair. Electrodental care in such patient is not, however, contradicted, although the patient is at risk during the dental treatment. The dentist in these cases should consider serious modifications for the treatment. ASA4 patients have a serious incapacitating disease that is a constant threat to their lives. They have a medical problem or multiple medical problems that are of greater significance than the dental treatment itself. The dentists in such patients need to postpone the treatment until the patient has improved to an at least ASA3 level. The reason for such a delay is that the patient exhibits signs and symptoms of the disease at rest and hence the dental treatment involves too much risk. In cases of an emergency such as during pain or infection, conservative treatment in a dental office is recommended until the given medical condition improves. Treatment, however, should be non-invasive, consisting of analgesics for pain and antibiotics for infection. If the dentist thinks that emergency intervention is required, such as an emergency tooth extraction or emergency chamber opening, then that should be done in an acute care facility such as in a hospital setting. ASA5 indicates a serious patient that is not expected to survive 24 hours without a surgery. These patients are almost always hospitalized and terminally ill. These patients are not to be resuscitated if they experience respiratory or cardiac arrest. They essentially have a DNR order signed beforehand, which means do not resuscitate. A DNR order is a legal document that you may know if you have worked in an emergency department and why it is necessary to sign that document. Anyways, in such patients, elective dental care is contradicted. However, relief of pain or infection can be done. But patients in ASA5 are a total red light for any kind of dental treatment. And finally, ASA6 is a brain dead patient whose organs are being removed for donor purposes. Now, normally ASA5 and 6 are not used in a dental clinical setup, and in most cases you will see forms that are stating from ASA1 to ASA4. But if you are in a hospital setup, such as in a maxillofacial ward or moreover in an emergency ward, then these classifications are oftentimes used and important to know. In such cases, when the dentist cannot determine the relative status of the patient, then consultation with the patient's physician is very important, as the final decision of treating a patient is taken by the practicing dentist, and it is their ultimate sole responsibility for the health and safety of the patient. If and when to treat the patient, or to postpone the treatment, or how to modify the treatment according to the patient. So it is really important for ensuring the safety and well-being of the patient itself. So that's all for today in this lecture. Thank you for watching. I will meet you all next time. Till then, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay safe and goodbye.